Hi, everyone. This week we celebrate Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit came to Jesus' followers. Pentecost is 50 days after Easter. After Jesus' ascension, his disciples were left waiting to see what would happen, and the Holy Spirit that Jesus promised them finally came on Pentecost. This week's reading is from the Acts of the Apostles. When the time for Pentecost was fulfilled, they were all in one place together. And suddenly there came from the sky a noise like a strong driving wind, and it filled the entire house in which they were. Then there appeared to them tongues as of fire, which parted and came to rest on each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in different tongues as the Spirit enabled them to proclaim. Now there were devout Jews from every nation under heaven staying in Jerusalem. At this sound they gathered in a large crowd, but they were confused because each one heard them speaking in his own language. They were astounded, and in amazement they asked, "Are not all these people who are speaking Galileans? Then how does each of us hear them in his native language? We are Parthians, Medes, Elamites, inhabitants of Mesopotamia, Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, Egypt, and the districts of Libya near Cyrene, as well as travelers from Rome, both Jews and converts to Judaism, Cretans and Arabs, yet we hear them speaking in our own tongues of the mighty acts of God." In this week's reading, we hear that all of Jesus' disciples were together. Suddenly, there was a strong noise that filled the house where they were, and something that looked like tongues of fire came on each of them, and they were filled with the Holy Spirit. You can imagine the excitement and energy in that room. There were followers of God from all around the world that day. And they were amazed that they could understand Jesus' followers speaking in their languages. The Holy Spirit had enabled the followers of Jesus to reach the people around them. Somehow, they were able to help everyone there to understand the stories of Jesus. It is amazing that the Holy Spirit gives us whatever we need to bring God's love to others. Sometimes it may be knowing the right words to say. Sometimes it may be the ability to do something that touches someone else. The story of Pentecost reminds me of a different story when languages came up. We hear in the story of the Tower of Babel, where people decided to build such a big tower that they forgot about God. They decided they were so powerful and important to be able to build such an amazing tower that they didn't need God. But without God, they lost their ability to care for one another and even understand one another. They started speaking in different languages and could no longer understand each other. Without God, they couldn't come together as one people. Contrast that with the story of Pentecost, where at the beginning of the story, all the people were coming from around the world speaking different languages. But then God's Spirit came and they were able to speak in ways that they could all understand. They could understand each other. They could understand the story of Jesus. They could come together. With God, it is possible for us to help others and come together as one people. How can the Holy Spirit help you this week to speak to someone in a way that brings you together as you weren't able to before? As we wish Father Andrew well as he goes forward to his next ministry, we wish the Holy Spirit on him so that he can speak in ways that others can understand. just as he did that for us here at St. Joe's. So we hope that when he goes to his next parish, he's able to bring the Holy Spirit with him and bring God's love and find just the right words in just the right way to reach the people there. We love you, Father Andrew. God bless you.